You know, it's hard to describe just how excellent it feels to be light on your feet, to feel light, and to have non-stop energy, to have a flat stomach, to have that feeling of not being bloated and full and heavy. Because when you're bloated and full and heavy, you drag through life. And the guy who's bloated and full and fat, and that may be you, and it even was me at one time in my life, the guy who's bloated and full and heavy and fat, you know, that's just a physical manifestation of the spirit. That doesn't mean that he can't kick ass and doesn't have strength in certain areas. But what it does mean is that there is a weakness of spirit manifesting in the physical realm. Everything that you see is a manifestation of spiritual force. Everything. When you look at a house, it was designed on a blueprint. But even before that, it was a thought. Someone pictured it in their mind. Maybe they thought of something totally new, or maybe they got ideas from many houses and put it together in a new collaboration. But everything that you see is a manifestation of spiritual power, of spiritual force. So by strengthening your inner warrior force, you can manifest anything that you want to see in your life. And it feels so great to be physically strong, to have power, to have mastered yourself. If you're bloated, if you're fat, you're probably not sleeping well at night. Let me tell you, a great way to sleep at night and to end sleeping problems forever is the same way that we relinquish fear. By letting go of the outcome. By just relinquishing attachment to the outcome. You're attached to the outcome. You're worried about sleeping at night or taking a sleeping pill. Let go and just forget it. Read a paperback fiction novel. Just space out. And don't care. Don't care. Read a book and read a paperback and don't obsess on not sleeping. The more you focus on the fact that you can't get to sleep, the more you don't sleep. So simply let go. Don't care anymore. And when you don't care, you'll find yourself nodding off as you're reading. And then you'll just set it down. Kind of like you used to fall asleep at the school desk reading your school book, huh? Right? So same thing. Just let go of the outcome. Secondly, and even more importantly in many cases, is what you're eating at night. Don't eat right before bed. Don't go to sleep on a full belly. Your body will go to work. Don't eat carbs before bed. They're energy. Have a protein meal about 3 hours before bed. Protein takes longer to burn in the stomach. So you'll still feel full throughout the night and longer. As where carbs tend to burn up quickly, it's quick energy, and all of a sudden you go to bed and you have an energy burst. Eat light, eat smaller portions. Does that make sense? Next time, just try it. Just eat a small portion. Instead of this huge meal, just eat a very small piece of New York steak. Just a small one, and that's it. No potato, nothing. And just watch how you feel. You'll feel lighter, and you'll have more energy. It's a great way to feel. All of this can be done through the simple process of self-mastery, of self-hypnosis, of the inner warrior force, of strengthening the spirit and finding your weakness, as we've been discussing. You see? So, let's talk about how you can not only create the exact life that you want to manifest, but how to also change your past. That's right. You can change your past. You may have heard of things like timeline therapy, and I've seen it taught by a few people. The best I've ever seen it taught by is Dr. La Tourette, the speed man. He has an excellent way of doing timeline therapy that'll just knock your socks off. And I've seen it done in different ways. It's a simple process, and yet it takes a resolve. Let me tell you something. Nothing happens without resolve, without resolution. Okay? You must resolve. You must decide. Deciding isn't just hoping that it'll work out. Stating your wish and hoping it'll work out. That's not decision. Decision is when you cut off from every other avenue of possibility. Okay? So, resolve, making up your mind, saying, this is what I shall do. There's power in that. There's no power in saying, well, hope it works out. You've got to take it seriously. And I do mean seriously. So when you're going to do a drill or a technique or a workable pattern like a kata, there are certain self-hypnosis drills that you can do that can help you to change your past and manifest your future. Now, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is not dangling a little ball in front of your face. You are getting very sleepy. That's not hypnosis. What is hypnosis? Hypnosis is simply bypassing the conscious mind and going directly into the subconscious mind. We all have a subconscious mind. Do you think you don't? Well, let me ask you this then. Have you ever had a dream while you were sleeping? Then what was dreaming? You weren't awake. It was your subconscious mind. It exists. It's not a religious thing. It doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. You have a subconscious mind, and it's a gift. Now, the subconscious mind never accepts or rejects. It doesn't make judgments. It simply receives information. Whatever you feed it, it will eat. And those things will manifest in your life. Remember, we talked about ninja mind control and the eye gate and the ear gate. All of these gates. Why? To get at the mind, because your mind will accept it. So if you're feeding yourself with fearful thoughts or apathetic thoughts, 99% of the population is ignorant and apathetic. And they get that way through self-talk. So when you feed your subconscious mind, and you do so unknowingly, you don't realize that you're feeding your subconscious mind when you repeat the rhetoric. When you repeat the commercial. When you say, well, win some, lose some. Hey, win them all. Hey, lose none. Isn't that better? Isn't that more empowering? Win them all. Someone says, how you doing? And you say, oh, okay. Okay. How about perfectly fantastic? Thank you very much. And you? Well, you say, well, that's just positive talk. No, I don't believe in positive talk. I'm a realist. I know that I have sovereign control over my life, over the things I manifest, over my destiny. So I don't fall into the pitter-patter of the common fare, of the peasants. I don't fall into their mindless slang. Why? Why fall into that? Why not create your own empowering language and your own empowering habits and begin to discern things that are not obvious? Begin to discern the hidden. Because it's in the hidden that all of the secrets are. Learning to discern the hidden. So why fall into that negative self-talk, negative self-image? It's not just positive speech. When I say I'm doing perfectly fantastic, I mean it. Even if I don't have a dime in the bank, even if I'm sick, even if things are going wrong. Why? Because I have the power to change those things. The moment that you give up that power and fall in line with the peasantry and start saying, well, you know, can't win them all. Yeah, so-so, same old, same day. See, when you start falling into that, you're giving up your power, you're giving your power away. So hypnotism is simply bypassing the conscious mind and going directly to the subconscious mind. I believe that timeline therapy is a form of hypnotism, self-hypnotism, and a good one at that. You know, many of the great athletes will self-hypnotize, and they'll look in the mirror, and they'll psych themselves up. They have all kinds of rituals and techniques that they work to get into their zone, to get into their state. But I don't think state management is enough, frankly. And I don't think it should take 21 days to personal power. I think it should be instant. As in, right now. Why? Well, it's true that the more you do something, the better you'll get at it. And if you do it for 21 days, it becomes habit. And I do believe that you should do it for 21 days. But the decision, the choice is right now. How about feeling good and strong right now? If you look in the mirror and you see yourself as fat, and you are fat, and you're bloated, and you're weaving, and you walk across the room and you're huffing and puffing, how about right now saying, I will be healthy right now. And then act as if. Act as if. Act as if. So, if you're fat and out of shape and you start acting as if, all of a sudden you're going to straighten up your stance. You're going to straighten up your walk. You're going to make choices as if you were fit, as if you were a samurai tiger. See, all of a sudden you bring about that change by making those choices, by acting as if and making choices. So you simply take that, you picture out here what you want to be. Okay, shape it, make it a ball. Pretend you can see a soccer ball right here. Now do this. You can laugh at this, or you can take it seriously and do it. And if you do it and try it, you might find that it works for you. You most likely will. But if you just sit there and watch, then you won't benefit from the possibility that exists, that it just might work. Let me ask you a question. Do you know everything? Yes or no? Do you know everything? No? Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Would it be generous to say that you knew half of everything there is to know? Would that be generous? It would be, wouldn't it? So if you knew half of everything there is to know, then doesn't it exist in the other half of the body of knowledge that you don't know, the possibility that what I'm talking about right now will work? I don't think anyone alive knows half of everything there is to know. That's a lot. That's more. We use such a small capacity of our mental powers, of our brain power, to know half of everything. And even if you did know half, then there's another half that you don't know. So couldn't there exist in the other half that you don't know the possibility that this could work? Okay then. So you picture what you want to become right here. Just right here. You put your right hand out and it's like a soccer ball you're holding up. And because it floats, you can simply pull your hand away and it'll stay there. So there it is. You look at that and you see you and who you want to be. You see you fit. You see you ripped with those washboard abs. You see you strong and confident and nothing can stop you. And nothing troubles you. You see that image of you. And then you take that. It's like a silver ball or a crystal ball, right? That image of you in there. You just take that and you put that in you. And you become that. And even though your body doesn't show it yet, it's now in your spirit. So when you navigate, when you walk, and when you make choices, you make those choices acting as if you were already that way. Would the man who has mastered pig out? Would he stuff himself? Would he bloat himself? Would he continually eat the memory? Just a little taste is all he needs. But what happens is you spiral. You have a taste. You have 2 or 3 chips, and then you go woof, woof, woof. So your stomach has stretched. It has stretched to fill. Your stomach might be this size, but you've stuffed it and stuffed it and stuffed it and stretched. And then when you eliminate and it's empty again, eventually it doesn't stretch back down. It stays stretched like a rubber band. You keep stretching, it gets loose. You got a loose, empty stomach. Now you're feeling hungry all the time to fill that stretched bag that you made. However, if you'll stop it and just feed it small portions, eventually it will shrink down to capture those smaller portions and work with those. Are you following me here? Can you see that? Based on those choices that you've made. Volitional conscious control. You have control. You have control over what you put in your mouth. You have control. When you walk across the yard and you see a pile of dog crap, no matter how tempting it is, you don't pick that thing up and put it in your mouth, do you? Why? Because you have control over what goes into your mouth. The next time you reach for a cigarette and bring it to your mouth, you're reaching for a piece of dog shit. And you're bringing it to your mouth and you go, I don't want that. And when you think like that, and you make choices like that and you trick yourself. Yes, you trick yourself. It's just like the magician or the hypnotist tricking someone. You trick yourself by mentally saying that that equals something hideous and foul. Okay? And so when you do that, and you start to react and you act as if. And you take control. You take control from the spirit to the mind to the body. You see? You go from the subconscious to the mechanical down to the primitive. Because it's that primitive. Remember the last time when we had talked about the insect. Are you an insect? Stimulus and response? You're taking control with your spirit, that choice. When that stimulus, such as that cigarette or that food, and you're responding to it, stimulus, response, like an animal, like an insect, like a moth to a flame. However, now you're going to reintroduce, aren't you? Because you've captured, you created and preserved the image of your desire, and you've taken it in. So it's inside of you now. It's like taking a Superman pill. Only it takes a while to manifest. You take the pill and by Jove it takes a while to work, doesn't it? Like antibiotics, sometimes you have to take them. They say take all these throughout the week. Don't just take one, even if you're feeling better. Why? Because it's a cycle. And so you do the cycle. But the moment that you created the image, and the moment you captured it and put it inside you and meant it with intention, with deliberation, with decision, with resolve, that moment, that instant moment, was your instant victory when you became the new man or woman that you want to be. That moment, again, you create it, you shape it like a soccer ball, only it's like a steel ball or a crystal ball, and you see that image of you. Do this. You see that image of just how you want to be in every way mentally. You see that image of just how you want to be, and now the ball's just floating there, and you're looking at it, and you're going, wow. You're going, wow. Wow, it's great to be what I've always wanted to be. Look at that. And how would you walk, and how would you breathe if you had that? Yeah, yes. See, when you're that way, how would you react to stress? Bring it on, right? Bring it on. See? When you create that image and then you think from inside it and you see just how that would be and how that would feel. Now I want you to reach out right now and take the ball. Take the ball. It's like a huge soap bubble. And you take the ball and you just bring it in and put it inside you. Now it's inside you, and when you walk and talk and breathe and eat and sleep and everything you do is just a little bit different now because that power, that light is inside you. You know, it's kind of like if you go in for an x-ray. I think they call it a GI, and you have to drink this chalky substance. I had a friend who went through it recently, and they said he couldn't eat the night before. They were going to take an x-ray of his guts. And in order to do that, he had to drink something. He said it tasted very chalky, because on an empty stomach, it would go through his system, and it would kind of glow in the dark, and the x-ray would pick it up. So, in a way, you've taken that, and you put it inside you. Now you have this glow inside of you, and you can carry it with you always. You can carry it with you always, just by doing that.